So I have one of my viewers asking, are angel spirits first didn't choose to incarnate into an angel body? And I'm saying this since non-incarnates and disincarnates can just assume the form of an angel and exist as one. So is there a difference? All right, let's talk about it. One of the things I will start with is that when we're talking about angel spirits and other kind of beings like that, I wouldn't put them in a list of specials. As in, it is plain consciousness. Like you, me, it's just a point of awareness, a point of view, a being that has knowingness. It does not yet have a certain form. It's not a ball. It doesn't have a shape. It's a perception. Beingness that knows it all, it doesn't know anything-ish. And in that kind of way, consciousness can choose to identify something. For example, having just a perception, all the feeling states and everything else, intelligence and all that. Consciousness chooses to like, okay, I'm gonna get a shape. And it can be an energy ball, it can be an orb, it can get a body, it can incarnate into a body. And we would go into I am something, identifying, like all these little boxes we can put ourselves in to fit in some sort of systems and rules that we create ourselves. Now, when it comes to getting an angel body, who can get it? Anyone, absolutely anyone. So if as a consciousness you just decide that you want an angel body or, alien-like body, human body, like choose whatever, you can get it. It is your own choice. No one is special, and it's not like you need to fit some sort of standards to get it. No, not really. But it's more like, what kind of game do you choose to play? My little analogy would be a kid playing a game with himself. Like, let's say chess, right? And, parents left, no friends, just by himself. And this kiddo is going to be black and white both. So the consciousness is like a kid. You can pick any kind of game from your big-ass toy room. It can be video games, it can be board games. You picked chess. Chess has all of these little pawns and figures, and we're just basically gonna go black against white. And in this scenario, kid plays both sides. So black and white can be like angels and like, let's say, angelic beings and, satanic or devilish kind of beings, little, demonic creatures, imps and stuff like that. Okay, great. But it's kid playing both roles. Now we can think of, okay, well, I'm fighting, it's black and white figures. We put the titles, we put the meaning into it, like good versus bad. Oh, really? Right versus wrong. Who decides? Kid plays both. He doesn't really care. He's just like interested in the moves and deciding how it works. And so we can look from the perspective of a kid who is just curious to experience what is this game like. And the kid can play both roles, right? So consciousness, same way. We can incarnate and get a human body. We can incarnate and get a reptilian body, a Gray's body, or someone else's body. And then we give meaning to that experience. We're playing black figures, so all of a sudden our enemy is white figures. And no, we have to defeat it. And they're the bad guys because they're killing our pawns, and like they're just like trying to get our queen or the king. Oh man, now it's a big thing. And so as a consciousness, we give meaning to everything. Like, okay, we're gonna put some sort of titles to ourselves. What kind of bodies are we gonna get? What kind of game are we playing? And what's the goal? And for us here on Earth, or like, let's say if we're looking at, angel spirits incarnating into an angel body, or is it the disincarnates or non-incarnates, an entity might be a simple thought form, right? And it does not necessarily have a shape or form. It's a simple thought. It's an energy that has been created by other beings who have like spent a lot of time thinking about something, feeling certain like thing, and now it gets shape, it gets mass. So we can create these things all day long, but we can also direct them where they go. These beings might not necessarily have their own free will, but they will stick to something that they're close to or that they're familiar with or they have similar agreements with. Other kind of entities, not necessarily thought forms, they will look for what kind of game can I play. some might be bullies, so they will try to like get in your space and just like try to mess with you, try to trigger you, get your attention. But if bully is ignored, like usually it gets bored and it will choose another game. So if we have Disincarnate trying to pretend as an angel being, okay, look, I'm angelic being, I'm gonna guide you, I'm gonna help you out, and here I'm appearing as Archangel Michael or someone else. Great, and they might tell you a thing. If we buy into their stories, if we listen to them, then they get interested, like, oh, it's working, I'm getting their attention, like using this kind of shape or form. But eventually, I would not say like there is a specific title or that we have to fit certain standards. Pretty much anyone can do it. A lot of these entities kind of like lost the ability to create or shapeshift just because they like their consciousness is limited. In a way, our perception, once we start believing something, we will try to make ourselves believe that we are right about something until we are made wrong. If we're looking into a distance and we're seeing, oh, look, it's a car, or look, it's a house, we have an understanding, like we saw it as like we see it in the picture, is clear right in front of us, okay, but you walk closer and you look behind and it's just cardboard cutout. Looks real, it's like photographic realistic, but it's just like thin as a paper, cardboard. Like, oh man, it's not a house anymore, my perception just changed. So it's all about like how we're going to look at things, right? So from this point of view, our consciousness can be anything. We can give meaning to all these things, but at the same time, we're playing all the sides. So that's my little take on it. But yeah, pretty much like anyone can be an angelic being, a demonic being. Eventually, if we zoom out, it is us playing this role. And then what do we want to do with ourselves? What kind of game are we playing? How much do we want to limit ourselves? Because when you see the scenario of like being messed by entities, or like some demonic being is messing with me, eventually you can delete all of your programs and all of these problems that are messing in like with you in your life just by zooming out and looking at, where did I start creating these issues? Like, oh, like there's this incubus or like succubus abusing me and like sexually messing with me, and I wish they weren't. You have to go like back half a year or two. Where did it all start? You have some kind of sort of fantasies that might have attracted these beings. You wanted to be loved by someone, you wanted to be caressed by someone, you wanted to have sex with someone. And then, oh, well, life physically didn't happen, but you had all those fantasies. It leaves space for other beings to fit in. Like, yeah, I can play with you, I don't mind. And then there it goes, an entity takes a shape or form and then comes into your life because you invited it by your own thoughts. So if you zoom out and you're looking at, okay, at some point I've made a decision, or I had some sort of feeling states and feelings about it, or thoughts, I created this problem. So I no longer agree with that. Yeah, it's no longer a thing for in my life. But then we have to look at, how long have you been thinking about that fantasy, creating that specific scenario? You want to remove an issue just like that. Well, it doesn't work like that. Like, we have to spend time. We have to rewrite the story, recreate this reality, and like put in the new program that's going to take its place. And then you just like start over, where here it is. If you have had, let's say, incubus and succubus, and you are used to waking up every morning feeling drained and like feeling like you've been sexually abused, you start telling yourself a story. Here it is. I woke up and I'm feeling great, relaxed. I had amazing night's sleep. I love it. It's just a story, but every single thing you're going to put out there, you're going to make it as a new truth. So that way, but there's plenty of ways to go about it. Anyway, hopefully it answers your question. Bye.